This has been a heck of a year for me as far as trees falling down. I have big trees, little trees, trees that are hung up in the air, trees that are on the ground, trees that are on the electrical lines. In the last 6 months, I've pretty much run the gamut of everything that can happen with a tree. So I'm going to show you how I safely chop trees up. I'm also going to show you if you have a tree that's hung up in the air, how I safely remove it so then you can chop it up on the ground. So hopefully this video is of value to you. If this is something you don't feel comfortable doing, by all means, don't do it. Sometimes it's okay to work a little bit overtime and pay a professional and not get smushed. So stick around, I'll show you how I get after these trees. So this tree broke off, and then it broke the branch here, and I think that's what's holding it up. So the easiest way, I think, to do this is to wrap a chain or a cable just around this small branch here, and hopefully it'll bring this whole big thing down. If not, plan B is to wrap probably my cable or chain around here, and then pull with my truck. I'm just going to come around here, and then bring the other end through, wherever it is. So on the other end, I just have a hook, and I'm going to use that to hook to the chain. So bring this through my little loop. I'm not going to be underneath it. I'm just going to pull it with my truck here, my F-150. If you have a Dodge will work, but you might have to whack it with your purse a few times. All right, so that didn't work. A lot of actual arborists have throw bags that they'll use to throw a rope over a branch so they don't have to climb up. I have a hillbilly throw bag. I just have a light piece of rope on a carriage bolt. So we're going to use this to secure the cable to this area right here, secure that to the truck, pull it all over, and I'll live happily ever after. So make sure I'm free here. And yeah, I definitely don't want to get under this after it just fell like that. This is not the safest to be standing underneath. So, okay. All right. All right, got the pool skimmer pole. So now that I have the rope over the tree, I'm going to tie one end to the cable, and then I'm going to pull the cable over the tree. So I was never up there. I was never working underneath the tree. It was nice and safe. We've got the tree looped with the cable. So let's bring the working end. We're going to bring the... I had a loop at one end of the cable, and I put my hook through that. Then I'm going to pull it tight. So many mosquitoes. Okay, hook. So truck. Hopefully we're going to yank this thing down. So at the most basic, we just have a loop that goes around the tree that we want to pull. And you can see here that the cable doesn't really like this. I did it because I didn't want to be underneath the tree, but here's a few different options of slings you can use that you can use to pull a tree or pull something and not damage your cable. Or we could wrap the tree with a chain, wrap it around there a couple times. The hook goes back on itself. And we're going to loop it back around itself. And then the cable hook attaches to the chain, and then you pull, and you don't damage the cable. We're hooked up there, then we can... Sweet. Then I yanked this guy down too. That one came off pretty easy. Once you have the log or tree close to the ground, It's generally pretty safe to start chopping it up. I like to start from the small end and then work my way to the larger end. But in this scenario, I have stress on the small end and on the large end up here. So if I were to start my chainsaw and start cutting from the top, there's a lot of stress in the middle of the tree and my saw is going to get pinched, like I'm going to do here. A better way is to cut a quarter of the way through the top of the tree and then finish your cut on the bottom. You can even cut a wedge for that top cut if you really want to ensure that you're not going to get hung up, and then finish your cut on the bottom. And then once one end is free, then you can just cut from the top and it'll safely drop. Speaking of being safe, so I've cut a fair amount of trees down, but I never ran into a scenario like this. So that tree had split and there was still some tension on the back there. And when I cut it, you can see what happened. I took that as a friendly reminder to myself that when you're cutting trees, to stay humble, be safe. I always wear my helmet. I wear chaps. It is dangerous, so if you are going to do this, just be careful. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.